Foundation Course Kabbalah, Part 1, Lesson 19, Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. The most important book is Zohar. Here in Zohar there is light, or within the Zohar you see the Margalot, and this is the comment of Ari. I also make use of the book, The Eight Gates, written by Ari. All I speak about comes from these sources. None of the words comes from myself. I only make use of Ari, Zohar, and Yehuda Ashlak. When you read Zohar, everything is there, the whole structure of the world, etc. You don't need any more. Make yourself receptible while you are reading, and don't be afraid for the strange words. Of course, there will be a lot you can't understand, but continue. Don't be afraid even when you lack the understanding. The light ore is there for you. You only have to make yourself receptible. Of course, you will have a lot of questions, but be patient. On the web, there is a lot of material, and the answers are hidden in one of these writings. While you're reading, it is possible you have the feeling of no understanding. Accept this feeling. What you need are questions. Have questions, and when time is ready, the answers will be revealed to you. Remember, there is no understanding in Kabbalah, only questions. The questions have to arise within you, because hidden in every question there is light, or. Questions are shortness, and only when you have shortness, light or can and will enter you. Look for the answers on your own way. This will be more precious than when another person gives to you the answer. Build up the questions. Progress in the Kabbalah is when you don't understand. Understanding is from this world, and Kabbalah is contradicted to this world. When you have the feeling you don't understand, no, this is progress according to the Kabbalah. When you learn Kabbalah, you have to work on yourself, and this is not the only thing. At the same time, you work for your surrounding. No, the exterior world doesn't understand this and doesn't see what you're doing. Don't go outside to help other people. Learn Kabbalah. This is the only way to help other people. Your help is so much stronger when you learn Kabbalah. It has so much more value than whatever help you think you can give to the exterior world. Let us look, for example, to suicide. We do this by using the 5 eternal questions. 1. What? 2. When? 3. Why? 4. Where? 5. Who? And the 5 eternal answers. There is shortness in the first. Let's say 20%. What is the first shortness? And it's all about reaction. His reaction is always another person is guilty, or whatever. He has shortness considering his reaction. The second question has the answer of now. Here we see he stays in the past. It doesn't matter what the situation is, I do understand, but in truth he sins in the eyes of the Creator, Boré, and he sins considering his own life. He has to live in the present and not stuck in the past. When he lacks the strength to stay in the present, he has a problem. You can only point out for him, but he has to do the work. He has to look at his own reaction, and he has to place it in the present. When he refuses this work, nothing will help. Now we see again there's a shortness of 20% because he stays in the past. Let us look at the third question with the answer correction. Everything is correction, and when he stays in the neglecting phase, he can't correct himself, and he has shortness for another 20%. And when we take the fourth question with the answer in me, be aware this person can't look within himself. Always other people are guilty. He can't look within himself, and again there is shortness for 20%. The fifth question is with the answer me, but he never feels guilty. Other people are making mistakes. He's okay. Then we have shortness for 100%. This person has no sense for life or whatever. He neglects the work on himself, and when a person can't work on himself, can't work with these 5 questions and answers, there's no value any longer in his life. There's no perspective, nothing. When a person comes to this point, no, this is the point of suicide. There are no wishes, and when a person has no wishes at all, he has come to the 0 point. The thought for suicide arises. He has to conquer this thought, and when he does, he's ready for Kabbalah. Now he is ready to receive the answers from within and from above. This will bring him back to life. He will become a bon vivant because he was once in the deepest point. he had experienced the deepest disappointment. These eternal questions and answers are very important. When a person isn't able to give answers on these eternal questions, and he already has lost 50% of his strength, no, suicide is coming closer. Whatever the situation is, no, it is all about your reaction. I'm talking about you and about the strengths within you. When you lose 50% of your strength, you are no longer in balance, and negative thoughts will be there, and the longing to be dead can be overwhelming. You meet a person and you want to help him, give him these 5 eternal questions and 5 eternal answers, no matter what the problem is. This is all you can do because you aren't corrected yet. Dissolve your shortness, and through this you give him a little bit of help too. Only when you work with these 5 questions and answers, you purify yourself. Through this, you help others. Try to understand this. Purify yourself and know while you're doing this, you're helping other people. Have the wish to become a better person, and know at the same time this wish is given to you from above. You bring it down to the present and make correction. Everyone who's living around you will have and feel the advantage of your work. There are no miracles. People want to believe in miracles, but the miracle has to take place within you. And working very hard on yourself can do this. Make yourself receptible, and at the same time, you're purifying yourself, but this work is the last thing man does. Everybody wants to have success without any effort. I don't want to talk about meditation. No, the work with these 5 questions and the 5 answers is meditation. Meditation means yichud. Later, I will talk more about this. I have found something marvelous. I'm reading the book, The 8 Gates of Ari. In this book, there is a formula how man learns, and Zohar gives an explanation by way of the letters. There is a formula for the names, the words, etc. There's a special name of the Creator, and when you pronounce this name with the right kavanah intention, because the right kavanah is necessarily, then you can rise up. There is a story in the Bible that tells us about a sick man who rises up from his bed. I can't explain it yet because I haven't finished the book, but later I will tell you more about this. No, there are no miracles unless we are prepared for it. We see things as miracles because we aren't prepared, but in essence there are no miracles. There are only strengths. Strengths of the Creator, and the Creator has a name. The Creator has a lot of names, but when you take the first letters of a certain name of the Creator, you see a new name. Name means strength, and this strength calls to you. This strength helps you to correct yourself, to make yourself more receptible, gives you energy, etc. There is a lot of strength in the name of the Creator, but first you need the ultimate measure of strength, of to give. Without the strength of to give, no formula will help you. Our shortness, the shortness where all of us have to work on, is the aspect of granting, to see each other as brothers and sisters, not because you want to be a good-hearted person, but because it is in the wish of the Creator. There is no other way. It is a matter of to give or die. Now we read from the next of the manual, from the inner purification. Point 3. There are many distinctions of steps and definitions in the spiritual world. We need to know this. When we speak about steps and about definitions, it is about souls and their point of view, considering their comprehension of what they can receive in this world. There is a rule. What we can't comprehend can't be named. In this we see the word name points out comprehension. We only can give a name at something when we have understanding about the thing we want to give a name, or, in other words, only when there is a comprehension I can give the thing a name. Then I can give the quality of the thing a name. It is written in the Torah, the Creator, Boreh, brought all the animals to Adam, and he said to Adam, how will you name them? The name you give at these animals, so be it. What was the reason for the Creator to act this way? Not the Creator gave names, but he let Adam do it. We need the comprehension because light, or, has absolute no name. There is no definition for light, no taste. Light is singular, eternal, and has no taste at all. Only when you have a lot of flowers you can create a bouquet. Only then it is one huge taste. The comprehension about what the name should be for an animal is very important, is the essence. In the Kabbalah we have several names for the Creator, but there is one important name. YHVH. I give you the name in Hebrew letters, Avaya. This name means He was, He is, and He will be. You have to pronounce this name with the real kavanah, intention. With the right kavanah, I mean you make yourself receptible from within for this name. Later, I will give you more details about the name, but let me tell you first about how the letters were created. First, we have the letter Yud, and from this letter came the other letters. How? Maybe it is more interesting to continue with this subject. A name is a very interesting thing. Yud is the first letter of the name Havaya. And this is the most important eternal name of the Creator, Boreh, with the meaning of it, He was, He is, and He will be. Why this name? There were great Kabbalists who had purified themselves, and with purifying I mean they surrendered themselves completely to the higher, and they have given us this name. Of course, there are many names, but this name is the most important. This name is so important, therefore I pronounce it in another way. I say Yud-K, Vav-K. The name Havaya is also a possibility. But now I have pronounced the name as Yud-K, Vav-K with the intention to learn you about this holy name. Then I may use the name this way. In early days, Kabbalists experienced this name as very powerful. Not only one Kabbalist, but also all of them experienced this name as very powerful. They could comprehend this name just the way as it is. He was, He is, and He will be. To give something a name means there is comprehension. Great Kabbalists experienced the power of His name, and this was possible for them because they had sacrificed themselves. What does this mean, to sacrifice? In Kabbalah, sacrifice means you give up your lower animal part. This is what they had done. And when you follow these great wise men, then you too receive step by step the strength from above. And this strength is the living strength. Strength that gives life to everything. Look at these 4 letters. Havaya. Read the letters from your right to left. Then you see Yud is the first letter, and Yud is the smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. From the 4 letters, Havaya, and everything what lives, you can recognize in this name. On the right we have Chassidim, mercy. On the left we have Gubra, severity. Chassidim means the strength of the good. Right and Hasidim are both the strength of the good, of something that gives life. Right is also the male side of a being. And in the left we see the strength of the creation itself, the reaction of the creation, din, severity. Din and left, or in other words, our ego, the female side of a being. Havaya, when we pronounce the name Havaya, we mean these 4 letters, but we don't pronounce them as is written here only once a year on the day of Yom Kippur. Then the priest pronounced this name. It is written in the Torah, you shall not pronounce the name in vain. Therefore read these letters as Yud-K, Vav-K. This name has to be in your heart. What you have deep in your heart isn't for others. Therefore, don't pronounce this name in vain. If you neglect this rule, you throw away the place where is hidden this strength. And when you are in need of this, where can you go? Create within you a place for this name. Engrave this name deep in your heart. All what we're doing, reading Zohar, pronouncing His name, etc., is to give light, the possibility to come within you. Let the light make engravings of the holy names within you. Why? Name means strength, light, and in these engravings comes the light, strength. This is the name YHVH, Yud, K, Vav, K. Pronounce this name in the right order. He was, He is, and He will be. Pronounce this name in the right order, Havaya. There are several varieties of this name, and see it this way. You too have all kind of varieties within you. Or in other words, considering us, there is all kind of varieties. Considering our kilim, we see different names, but considering the Creator, there's only the existence of one. See this name as a skeleton. Yud, K, Vav, K. Is the skeleton of existence. One day you will see and understand this. Everything is built upon this name. Of course, there are more names, but eventually they return to this name. So what is the deeper meaning of this name? First, there was nothing, only light, or, and nothing more. Then there was something, existence. You can compare this with a white piece of paper. The first paper is completely white, and then there's a little black dot. Something so small that even a dot is too large. You can find this image in the Torah. Within the Torah, you see this comparison with the single dot. And the meaning of this dot is that there was something, although small, but it was one, Ein Sof. This dot was the beginning of manifestation. From this dot came the letters, and the letters are a symbol for something, what exists. And this something is Kilim. Let me give you again the example of the white piece of paper. First, the paper is white, and then a dot on the paper, letters on the paper, and between the letters still white. You can compare these white fields with air, space. The Torah is written on parchment, all kind of letters, empty places, kelim, and compositions, and this reproduces the strength of the universe as it is. To know how the universe is constructed, you don't have to look to the night. Take a piece of white paper and draw some letters, and when you order these letters in the right order, you see something. And in the same way, He created man. He created with all kind of vowels and signs the four elements. Four elements, and the fifth is the root. Everything consists of these four elements. Everything, what is in the universe, small or large, these four elements are skeletons of everything. Let me give you another example. Suppose all the air of the earth is gone. What will be left? We can't see it, but it is the skeletal of everything. The whole universe is created from these four letters. The smallest detail is within this name, and it all began with a dot. A dot is the beginning of something, and the smallest letter of the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Yud. But not only that, in the Hebrew alphabet the letters are at the same time a number, and Yud has a number 10. Note, there are 10 Sefirot. The number 10 is the absolute minimum because the letter Yud is the smallest letter. When you look carefully at the letter Yud, you see the dot as a tail. But in essence, the meaning of the dot is the letter Yud. It is always this way. First we have the dot coming from above, and then the Yud with the tail as the connection with below. You can't see this here, but when you look in the Torah, you can see this. From above we receive the dot, and the dot stands for Keter. The word Keter has the meaning of root. Keter is the root of everything. The name Yud is only the dot. See the Yud as the smallest letter. You don't need to look at the sky. Take a white piece of paper, and you see Ein Sof. There is no manifestation yet, and then suddenly there is something, Yud. And from Yud it goes further. This Yud is the beginning of the covenant made through all the letters. The letter Yud is Chokmah, and the meaning of Chokmah is wisdom. Light or Chokmah means light or of wisdom. The dot is the beginning of everything, and in Kabbalah we name this the dot of the Yud. It isn't a letter, but it has already a name, Keter. In this, we see Keter means root. Something begins, something starts to grow. Everything has a root, Keter, and the second one is Chokmah. And from the Chokmah there is Bina, and slowly we see the existence of the world. In this way, every wish comes to existence. So now you see there's a lot in the letter Yud, and not only in the letter, but in the number too, you see a lot. Yud is 10 because it is the 10th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Later I will explain more about it. 10 is a very important number. Everything consists of 10, and Yud is the smallest letter. What does this mean? Yud is the smallest part of existence. It is the smallest element, though everything is within. 10 dots, 10 elements within this one dot. This little dot has within him 10 dots, but for now it is enough. I continue with the name. The name Avaya. Read this name from your right to the left. Then we see the dot is the first, and this is Keter. The second, or in a way the first letter, is Yud, and Yud is Chokmah. The first Hey we see is Bina, and the following letter is Vav, Ze'ah, and the last Hey is Malchut. As I said before, a letter has also a number, and Yud has the number of 10. When you look at the Hebrew alphabet, you see the letter Yud is the 10th letter. I also have said to you everything is to be seen in this name. How? Let me begin to explain this. There is the letter Yud. With all these letters, you can research the whole universe. You don't need more. Everything is to be finding within these letters. And he who has a lot of patience will experience, but most of all, you need a lot of patience. Why do you have to be so patient? Each one of us has to purify himself, and only when the purification takes place, you will notice, experience. It doesn't matter what you see, because it isn't given to man to explain this, but the confirmation will come from within. And even when you receive a little confirmation, know it means a lot. Realize it is a miracle for a being of flesh and blood to see the eternal, therefore be patient. I already have spoken about the Sephirah or Sephirot. Sephirah is a singular and Sephirot is plural. In every Sephirah there is strength, and there are 10 or 5 Sephirot, so there are several strengths too. Everything is in conformity, so I continue with the name Avaya. Yud is the Sephirah Chokhmah, and Chokhmah is the strength of wisdom. Chokhmah is the light of wisdom, or Chokhmah. Chokhmah is the giving strength, and the strength of to shed. This is what we mean when we speak about the male strength. It is the giving strength that is shed from above to below. First, Hey is the Sephirah Bina, and Bina is the strength of limitation. She is the first limitation. We need limitation, otherwise how could we come to understanding? The light has to be limit, otherwise it goes straight to below, and how can we come to comprehension without light? Limitation is very important, and the first limitation comes from Bina. Bina is the strength of severity, Din, in Hebrew, and Bina is the female strength. All of us experience the strength of severity of Bina in this world. You may ask, why do we need this? And the answer is because it was in the wish of the Creator, Boreh. His wish was to have more than only light of wisdom. As you already know, one against another is created, is necessarily to have both strengths. Always have this in mind. Each one of us has to experience these strengths within him. Why? To unite them once again. The numerical value of Bina is 5. The letter Hey is the 5th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. The next letter is Vav, and Vav is the Sephirah of Zeir Anpin. Ze'ah. Ze'ah is also the male aspect with the meaning of to shed. The numerical value of Ze'ah, Vav, is 6. Vav is the 6th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. And the last letter is again the letter Hey, but now it is the Sephirah Malchut. The meaning of Malchut is kingdom. Malchut is female, and with the strength to limit, but this is a very severe limitation, or in other words, she is the perfect Kli. She also has the number 5. So now you see 4 strengths of the Creator Boreh. He created these 4 strengths. When you look close, you see there are 2 letters Hey, and the letter Hey stands for the limitation. So we have the first limitation and we have the second limitation. Why? These are 4 phases, and by way of these 4 phases, the Kli was formed. We have the name Avaya, plus the dot, and this dot is a phase 2. But in a way, this phase is hidden between the Kli and the light, or in the light or. In order words, it is impossible to speak about Kli, only about light. Slowly, when the development takes place, meaning the light become rougher and rougher till it reached the last Hey, the stage of Malchut, then we see the complete Kli. And the Kli also means wish. Malchut is the complete wish. The dot is hidden within the letter Yud, and the last Hey is the completion of a Kli, and this completion we name wish. Before this, there was no wish. Ein Sof, only the dot, light. We can compare this with a white piece of paper. There's nothing. Infinity without limitation means there's nothing. Look to a little child who is playing on the floor with his toys. There is only light. With no light, I mean he doesn't have any comprehension. In a way, he is just as my cat that lies a whole day on the couch. Whatever happens around him, he has no interest in it. He isn't able to make a limitation. In other words, he isn't capable to limit the information. We need limitation. The first limitation wasn't enough because Bina is still very close to the light. There is some limitation in Bina. She limits Chokhmah, but it isn't enough. There was the need for more limitation. Therefore, we see more coarsening. And the dot became the letter Hey. And the coarsening grows and grows till it became Malchut. Malchut is the heaviest coarsening of the light. But Let us return to the letter Yud. How can we see the four elements here in this so small letter? As I have said before, everything has to be four, so the letter Yud has to be four too. First, we have the singular letter Yud. Another way to write down this letter is Yud, Vav, Dalet. The singular letter Yud is Chochmah without limitation. When I write down the Yud, Vav, Dalet, this means there has been limitation. And when there's limitation, something can be filled with light. Yud has the numerical value 10. But when we look closely to the Yud, Vav, Dalet, we see the numerical value has changed too. It has become 20. Yud is 10, Vav is 6, and Dalet is 4. And together it makes 20. The next step is to see how Yud has in itself everything. The letter Yud pointed out that it is only Chochmah, pure concentration of Chochmah, but when you write Yud, Vav, Dalet, all the elements are there. How? Let me try to explain this to you. Again, we take the name Avaya, Chochmah, Yud, Vav, Dalet, and then we see the letter Vav, Dalet, and Vav. Together, Vav and Dalet makes 10. Vav is 6 and Dalet is 4. Together, they refer to Yud because Yud is 10 too. Vav and Dalet together are the Binah, Hey of Chochmah. So now we have Chochmah and Binah within the letter Yud. How about Ze'ah and Malchut? Because we have said everything that has to be four, Chochmah, Binah, Ze'ah, and Malchut. It doesn't matter when you have no understanding, yet look at it, play with it, and the understanding will come later. We have Vav and Dalet, two singular letters. Vav is Ze'ah and Dalet is Malchut. But when we look closely to the Binah, we see a big Dalet and within a small Vav. Can you see this? So Vav and Dalet together makes Binah. Here in the letter Yud, Vav, Dalet, the Vav is Ze'ah. As I have stressed before, Ze'ah of the Chochmah, but in Binah we see the Vav too, Hey, but there he is still small. And when you look carefully, you see Vav isn't complete. In a way, he's missing his head. This is to stress that Ze'ah is still a child in the tummy of his mother Binah. Vav is Ze'ah, and the third letter of the four-letter name, Avaya, Yud K, Vav K, it is often written as Avaya. The reason is that we shouldn't make use of his name in vain. And when you see written Avaya, pronounce it as Yud K, Vav K. This is very important. Keep it in your heart. When you see this name, Avaya. I don't speak about this sin, but you have to know that you have to be very carefully with this. His strength is hidden in these letters, the strength of Ein Sof. Is it possible to damage the strength? First, there is Ein Sof, and from him came all the letters. See these letters as a developing. Our developing, and can we damage his developing? The most important thing is we have to make ourselves receptible for this light. Of course, in early days, there were strict rules before the demolishing of the first temple. It was forbidden for man to touch the Torah scroll or to go in the temple at night, because at night one is polluted. It was the same for women when they had their period. It was forbidden for them to go to the temple. In that time, one was afraid, but such persons could offend him, and they were seen as an endanger for the Holy Creator. Only when the period was over and when he had washed their slaves, they may enter the temple, wash themselves, they may enter the temple, but only in the evening. Why in the evening? When dawn was falling, a new day begins, and then they were allowed to go to the first temple. When the first temple was destroyed, meaning the higher was concealed and the second temple was pronounced, strength already had changed within man. His ego became bigger, and now everyone is allowed to go to the temple. All the severe laws are gone, but a Kabbalist does understand this. For him, it isn't the end of the severe laws. You have to be very refined with your strength, even with the physics strengths. We don't say it with so many words, but everything is connected with each other. When I use the word dirty, I don't mean someone is dirty because he didn't wash himself. No. Everything's connected. Your eyes, your mouth, your heart, and lower strengths. These are the four letters within us. Yud is Chokhmah, and Chokhmah refers to the eyes. He is Bina, and refers to the mouth of Malchut, Bina of the Malchut. And Vav is Ze'ah, and Ze'ah is the heart. And the second He is the lower strength, Yesod. These are the four elements in man, and everything has to be in conformity with the spiritual. Everything has to be pure. And when I use the word dirty, I don't mean someone hasn't taken a shower, but he wasn't alert with, for example, his mouth. We have to be very careful because these are very fine things, and man has to bring himself in conformity with these four elements. Always in every action and activity, everything has to be in conformity with the spiritual. Don't think you can sin here on earth, but when you want to go forward in the spiritual, you have to bring yourself in conformity with the eternal life. When you want to come in conformity with the higher, you have to be very careful in what you do. It isn't possible to avoid it any longer. Let me return to the name Ze'ah. Is the Vav within the letter He. And Dalet is in a way a roof above the Vav and refers to Malchut. Dalet is Malchut, and we can see this in the meaning of the word Dal. Dal means poverty. Malchut is poverty. Malchut has nothing from herself, only what she receives from her husband, Ze'ah, because from Ze'ah comes the second shedding. To shed means the male gives something and she can receive, but here in the letter He, there is only a little shedding from the Vav to Malchut. Malchut is female and is the receiving element. But what is Ze'ah without Malchut? Nothing. What is a man without woman? Only light. There is only the receiving, but no manifestation, and the wish of Borei is that we have all the four phases, meaning from thin light to rougher light. As I have said before, Bina limits Chokhmah, but it is a small limitation, and Vav and Dalet, Ze'ah and Malchut are her children. We learn about the Holy Family. Chokhmah and Bina are the parents, and Ze'ah and Malchut are the children. Everything consists of these four phases, and these four phases are as a preparation for the merging with the higher. What is the higher merging? The higher merging is the eternal merging, or in the Hebrew, the eternal zivug. This is the condition of the higher Chokhmah and Bina, and this higher zivug means father and mother with their children are in an everlasting relation with each other, and with their children, Ze'ah and Malchut, we mean our world. But after the demolishing of the temples, this higher eternal zivug disappeared, and our task is to make corrections. So Ze'ah and Malchut once again come in relation with their higher, father and mother. Now, Ze'ah and Malchut are sometimes in zivug with each other and sometimes not. Sometimes they watch to each other face to face, and sometimes they're back to back, or he has his face turned to her back, or she has her face turned to his back. 4 stages, but the higher father and mother, Chokhmah and Bina, always are in an eternal zivug. This is what we learn in Kabbalah, to learn about the holy higher family, and to set our goal to be as them. All the blessings comes from Chokhmah and Bina, all the strength coming from them. And when we aim our thoughts to them, we too can come in the same relation as they are. Of course, not as clear as they do, but in a way it is the same. And when the end has come, when the Messiah has come, then there will be the eternal complete merging, the eternal zivug. What does this mean? There will be no longer shortage, not with her and not with him. No feeling of drama or trauma, no heavenly feelings, only completeness. And we can realize this. All the spiritual strengths are here, and this gives strength. Eventually, Ze'ah will be seen as the sun and Malchut as the moon. In our world, we see the sun is huge and full of light, while the moon is small and has shortage, meaning sometimes she is huge, and then she is together with the sun, and she has shortage, and when they aren't together. This is the reason why all special holidays are on the days of the full moon. This is the most beautiful moment to experience the oneness of the higher strength. We saw in letter Yud, everything is in this letter. The Yud is Chokhmah. Now let us look at Bina. Where is Bina in the 4 letters of the name? Yud, K, Vav, K. When a writer writes the Torah, he has several rules. First, he starts with the dot, and then the Yud, the smallest letter. First he makes a dot, Keter, and from this dot he draws short lines, longer lines, etc. Bina is the letter Hey, but the writer has started with the dot, Keter of Bina, and the next stage is the Yud, Chokhmah of the Bina. In everything we can see this beginning of Keter and Chokhmah. First the dot, then the next stage. In everything I have Keter and Chokhmah. Whatever exists in our world, it has these 4 phases: Keter, Chokhmah, Ze'ah, and Malchut. Although all thoughts and all wishes are formed by way of these 4 strengths, in every wish, in every kli, you see the 4 phases. Even in every fabric, you can see these 4 letters, Yud, K, Vav, K. In every solution of a problem, you see Yud, K, Vav, K. How and why, I will explain to you later. First, we see the letter Yud, and this is Chokhmah. The first Hey is Bina. In a way, at the beginning, she was part of Yud, but later she separated herself from him. She built up her own strength, and she did this by way of limitation. Her next element is the male element within her, the little Vav in the letter Hey. You can see this as a period of pregnancy. First, the male aspect in her had to grow, and only when the child is born, she feels free, relieved. When the child is still in her tummy, it is hard work, but when the child is born, she is relieved, and this is the moment to become independent. The child grows and has to become independent too. There's no difference between this world and the spiritual world. When Ze'ah comes from her tummy, Ze'ah has head too, meaning 10 sefirot. He also has Yud, K, Vav, K. As I have said before, everything what is in existence has Yud, K, Vav, K. We have Vav as a letter, but also the word Vav. Here we have an element of Bina too, but I will explain this to you later. At the end of the Vav, Ze'ah, we have Malchut, but the Malchut isn't developed yet. Vav, Reteldacht Samit Ot is Oin, Vav. As we have said before, when we write a letter fully, it means there is filling. 2 times the letter Vav, independently receiving of the light. 1 Vav from Ze'ah himself, and with this Vav he gives to her, and he only can give what he has, the letter Vav. And when they have both, the letter Vav, we see a perfect Malchut, a perfect female element. When a woman is dependent from her husband, you know, to be in love is wonderful, to live together is wonderful, but when she still depends on him, he will flee away. It is the same when a man is too dependent from his wife, then she flees away. Why? Because in every relation, one has to become independent. Both have to become grown-up persons. Now you may ask, why marry? Only for to have kids, or that she will take care of me? You have to know, in an inner way, eventually a woman has to become independently of her man. At the end of the whole developing of man, we see Ze'ah and Malchut. Malchut will be equal to Ze'ah only when there can be eternal Zivug. When they are on the same height. When she has 10 sfirot and he has 10 sfirot, then we speak of a real relationship between man and woman. Not when she is a slave for him or when she is so feministic. Both are wrong. Both are the attitude of a child. It is not good when she behaves like a slave, but it isn't good either when she behaves in a very feministic way. Both are childish reactions, and don't think this is a thing only for women. For man, it is the same. He can behave as a macho. Then he neglects his left side, his female side within him, and when this is happening within a relation, both will be very unhappy. Why? Both are childish behavior, and this is not according to the plan of the creation. Each one of us has both elements within us. In everything there has to be the 4 elements, Yud K, Vav K. And eventually at the end of developing, they will be equal to each other. The sun will be equal to the moon, meaning two large lights in the sky shining equally. And this is already written, but in early days one couldn't understand what the meaning was of this, that as well in daytime and nighttime the light shall shine. It is written, it was evening and it was morning, one day. What does this mean? The evening and the morning together are one day, not only the evening or only the morning. Morning is Zeh, and night is Malchut, Nukve, the female aspect with shortage or of light or. But eventually they will be equal, independent from each other, because this is the wish of the Creator and lies within the creation. But for now, this is a huge problem. Man and woman has to grow within a relation. Both has to become an adult. First, he seduces her because his developing isn't finished. He wants to have sex but refuses to work on himself. But slowly there will be a change. Why fight with each other? Fighting is war, and war is a very childish attitude. The names of Boreh. Several names of the Creator. Boreh refer to his multitude and comprehensive qualities, considering the human being. Or, in other words, we use the name Boreh because in this name we see the revealing of these qualities, considering his name. Rachamim, loving kindness. Tzaddik, he who is justice. Norah, inspiring. Rachok, from a distance. Karov, from nearby. As I already have said to you, it isn't possible to comprehend Boreh. What we can comprehend is the light coming from him, or to be more precise, the part of the light what enters the Kli. You are the Kli, and wakes up in a specific feeling, and this we name Boreh. Every word, every sign in the Torah carries the information of Boreh, carries his revelation. Therefore we say the whole Torah is the name of Boreh. Keter. With Keter we refer to the light coming from Boreh, and in this light is embedded the embryo of the coming creation. Direct light, or Yashar, refers to the concealed creation, and we refer to this with a small dot. In a way, a dot is the beginning of everything. Chokmah. Chokmah is the first shedding of the light in the Kli, temporary without any reaction. This phase is named Chokmah, and the reference is the dot with a small line. You can see this as a trace of light within a Kli. It is the letter Yud, and is the male aspect of the creation. Bina, she is the first reaction of the Kli on the light. It is the appearance of the light Hasidim, and we refer to this as the shedding of the line in the width, or in other words, the first limitation. This is the female aspect in the creation because limitation is a female strength. Ze'ah refers to the letter Vav. Chokhmah, from above to below. This is a male aspect in the creation too. Shedding is a male aspect. Malchut. We refer to Malchut with the second letter, He. The same He as in Bina. This is the phase of a complete wish, Kli. It is named the second limitation of the light. This too is a female aspect in the creation. Everything that was, is, and will be created has 10 sefirot, or in other words, 4 steps, madrigot, of a Kli. 4 because the root keter is the dot of the letter Yud. These are all kind of varieties of the individual filling on the top of all the creatures that have the skeleton of the name Avaya. Within a Kli, 2 kinds of light enters, or Hasidim and or Chokhmah. Although we can't speak in the spiritual world, Olam, about places, etc. We make the use of a language as branches, fork, etc. For instance, we say, or Hasidim sheds herself in width, or Chokhmah sheds himself from above to below. Hasidim refers to the word Hesed, what means mercy, a width hand, a great heart, a frank soul. Chokhmah refers to the light coming from Boreh, to the creation. In this we see the expression of the spiritual strength. When you see printed a horizontal line within Kabbalah, note this refers to the shedding of Or Hasidim within a Kli. When you see a vertical line, it refers to the shedding of Or Chokhmah with a Kli. The sources of all letters are Yud and Aleph. Every picture and particularly a letter is as cleat on a white sheet of paper. The background is to be seen as the light or. There is no limitation. It is impossible to comprehend the light or with our material eyes, because our senses are kilim too.